Hello, folks. Lovely. Hopefully I am coming through loud and clear on this beautiful microphone of mine, and you get an excellent glamour shot of my elbow. This is my streaming setup as I have set it up. Yesterday I had a big kerfuffle with this ring light because I did not realize there's a little arm in it that bends, and if it doesn't bend, you can't do very much. And I did not think that it bent, but we figured it out in the end. This is part of the desk space in what I call the project room, which is where all the projects happen in my household. Around it, as you might be able to see in the face cam, there's quite a bit of hullabaloo all about the place. I'm surrounded by knitting needles and yarn on one side, and dice and Sharpies and notebooks and things on the other. But I wanted to do a little test stream before I well and truly launched. It'll probably be a soft launch, truth be told. I thought it would be cute if we had a little drink of the day every time. Today's is hot cocoa because I have this coconut whipped cream. Normally I cannot have whipped cream because I'm very lactose intolerant and it will make me feel bad on the inside. But this not only won't make me feel bad on the inside, but it's also extremely delicious. And will be the drink of the day. I'm very excited to have many other drinks. Today's had to be decaffeinated because we are streaming at 4, but I am considering having an earlier time during the day. I'm leaning towards 2 to 4 p.m. so that it can include students who are getting out of school around 2-3, but also other folks who are having a lunch break on non-Eastern time zones. So I'm excited. If you are joining in the chat, please let me know how you're doing today, how life is, where you are coming from, all of that jazz. So, for a little test project, just to see how things work with the camera and all of that, while I was looking through, I have a very large box of works in progress. Many of them are in Ziploc bags like this one, which I'm sure makes for excellent, fantastic audio. I'm sure it's great on all of your ends, so sorry about that. This is a halter top that I made as a payment for someone who came and helped out at a convention. Unfortunately, the convention took place in August of last year, and I thought I had given this to them, but I had not. I had given them a halter top for another thing entirely. So, I will be gifting this probably sometime in February when it is least usable. But I can sew it together on camera, see that everything works, say hi to people as they come in, and all of that. This is one of my very first fun creatures that I made for my very first in-person event, which was Kalamazoo Pride 2018. Yes, because then I did 2019, and then ... This is an intersect. It did not sell at that Pride event. And then I came up with a little bit of a better design that's not falling apart. You can't see the stitches, and there are actual eyes instead of little baubles. But I didn't want to get rid of this friend, so now it is a pincushion. I have seen some very cute pincushions. I think that Belted Flying Fox has a Bulbasaur one where the little bulb is made out of wool, and you can stick things in there. They wanted a sort of, I think bog witch was the phrase that they wanted for their halter top. So here I've got several crochet little appliques, a little snail, some daisies, and several mushrooms, and a whole lot one continuous strand. I did not sew anything together. I did not tie anything together except for the very, very end. But it looks great. It's so funny. And you can quote me on that. This is just yarn scraps, so it does not need to be here. My whipped cream is melting a little bit. Oh, also, if you can hear it, please let me know if you can. The music we are listening to, which I'm greatly enjoying, is relaxing Nintendo music. The current track is Super Mario Odyssey, and it's a bop. I had someone from the Possum Creek Games Discord recommend cozy music, and I am trying it out. I do not know all of the rules in terms of music usage, so I'm trying to use things that if I mess up, I will not be taking advantage of small creators. And Nintendo is not a small creator by any stretch of the imagination. So I would love to get some of like Louis Zong's work. My friend Courtney writes music. I'm gonna grab the other yarn. This is the yarn I made it from. I need headphones because otherwise I won't be able to hear the music, and that would be a real tragedy. If I take the headphones out to be able to hear the music, you will also be able to hear the music 2 times because it'll come through my handy dandy little microphone, which will be significantly less handy if it is catching background noise and not just regular noise. So whenever I do a project, I like to, if there are multiple components that need to be sewn, I like to leave them all for the end so I can like visualize how it'll all come together and like place things. Sometimes I'll pin them on to see exactly where they'll stay and then sew it all in one go. It's also really nice because it's really satisfying to see it come together. I have a sneaking suspicion that I will be doing a lot of here, let me sew this project all together on these streams because it is much more engaging to watch like all of these elements come together in one halter top than me like make the 18th, 19th, and 20th rows, which is just going to be the same thing over and over again. So this is going to be the front of the halter because the back has this little seam in it. So I don't necessarily want that up front. Of course, it can be worn any which way, but I'm going to design the sewn on bits as if they are. This will be the front. It's also very stretchy, so I'm going to try and stretch it as I sew so that when it gets put on the person's body, nothing, these don't get like pulled too far. So let's start. I made 3 little mushroom shapes. Boop, boop, boop. I believe that in my files I called this like pointy boy, squat boy, and round boy or something along those lines. So let's start with a round boy. One unfortunate thing about leaving all of the sewing until the end is that there are so many little bits of yarn to get tangled up all together, and sometimes things become a real mess. But if you leave a long enough tail, and boy do I do that, you'll be able to sew it on. Okay. This is really quite good. It is not from a mix because I'm afraid of surprise dairy. It is just cocoa powder, sweetener, oat milk. Oat milk is my newly preferred hot cocoa base of choice, I suppose you could say. And, of course, the delicious, delicious coconut whipped cream. My whole family over Christmas became obsessed with the coconut milk whipped cream because only some of them are lactose intolerant, but the rest of them just think it's delicious, and they're correct. So my hope for these streams is, as I work on whatever I'm working on, I can chat a little bit about what I'm doing, what my process is, what's been happening this week. I realized, especially because of the amount of people who have asked questions, particularly about like Etsy business and like selling at events and stuff, that like my sharing that with people could be like helpful or advantageous or educational or even just fun to learn about, you know, like a new world that you're not accustomed to. So I thought I would share a little bit of that. I recently went on a lovely winter walk yesterday, where all of the schools were closed here in Kalamazoo. Some of them are still closed because of the panini, but what to do? I went on a lovely winter walk, and I considered several of the things that I wanted to do with my year, like both personally and professionally. This technically counts as professionally, which is still buck wild to me, truly. But one of the major things that I wanted to do this year is like educate and connect well with like LGBT community, because I work with a group in town, and I really liked being able to do that. And I've liked being able to like do research and like share information and support people and that kind of a thing. One weird thing about like being a person who owns a business is that like you do have like the financial or other success metrics of like how many sales did I make, how many events did I go to, how many clicks did my website get, which are all like those things, like me making a certain amount of sales is great because I can share my work with more people, or buy groceries that week, or what have you. But also elements that sometimes get overlooked are more non-numerical elements, like being able to work on creative projects that are fulfilling for me, or to be able to meet people and have good conversations, to be able to like share creativity together, to feel like I am doing good in the world, like teaching other people how to do crafts or getting interested in them, like educating people. Like I did a little series for what was previously a sexual awareness week and is currently Ace Week. I apologize if you can hear my phone buzzing. I think my Dungeons and Dragons group chat is having a field day right now. But my phone is currently right here and broadcasting using Wi-Fi, so I'm going to turn it off. But I wanted to do some of those less measurable things with a lot of like intention and thought. And so I tried to think of like specific things that I would want to go after. Sometimes the problem that I have is I will see, oh, this is so cool. You can do a new kind of craft with like transfer iron-ons. I could make t-shirts out of this. Oh, if I make t-shirts, I could go to this event. If I go to this event, I might want to appear on this podcast and do this and that and the other thing. And suddenly I have created for myself 5 months worth of things to do in 1 month of time. And all of those things are very exciting and very fun and probably worthwhile in their own right. But just like many other things in life, I have to decide what is the most important to me at any given moment. And so this year it was primarily, I actually have my little notebook that I wrote in after I went on the walk. the pile of stickers I'm going to add to said notebook later on in the stream. Ah! Oh no, I apologize for that very disorienting moment. Hold on, I'm going to turn the stream camera off so you all don't get dizzy while I try and fix this. And God said, let there be light. I just watched the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man with my family, which was great. But some of those little moments I remember from deep, deep childhood. Okay. Yay! Let's just get the hot cocoa fully in frame. Very important. Gather everything together. This little Happy Day Chicken notebook from a friend over Christmas. I believe when I turn away from the microphone, my voice gets significantly quieter. So, apologies. This is very authentic page turning. Okay, so some of the things that I wanted to do, primarily through streaming, so let me know if you have thoughts on how to do that, is create community and educational content with care and intention, so not just like I need to make something to make something, or I'll like work hard over it but not put my heart into it. General mental health, spur self on creatively without overdoing it, like the 5 months of work one at a time. And the 3 things I wanted to do event-wise, I called them presence, attendance, and professionalism, which are very like, let's go to this TED Talk and this Smart Goals workshop thing. But what I mean by that is, like, I want to go to more events when it is safe to do so, of course. I want my presentation at those events to be really quality, like the tables that I have set up, the stuff that I have. I want that to be better. I want more, like a second table. I want a little jewelry display that's better than the one I have now, that kind of thing. And I had a lot of thoughts when I originally wrote professionalism. But I think what I mean is something along the lines of like having my stuff together, like paying my taxes accurately and on time, like engaging well with the people that are there, and as you can see from this payment that I am making several months late, I would like to be able to compensate people who help out in a timely and appropriate manner. So that is what I have been thinking about. You know, no biggie. What I want to do, like with my little business for the entirety of the year. Something I also need to learn is how not to block my sewing with my hands. On my screen, this top-down camera is getting fairly grainy. Currently, I am using OBS Ninja, which is a tool recommended by some of the REM Alternatives folks. I think it was reference 0, but I may be incorrect. And OBS Ninja is just a series of expansion tools for OBS, the original, notably. There are some who have used the OBS name and done some irresponsible things. But we don't talk about them because we don't use their services. I'm not used to people not interrupting me as I talk, so my train of thought is less secure. But currently the camera is looking a little grainy because it's coming from my camera on my phone, which is using OBS Ninja, which is transferring over Wi-Fi, the same Wi-Fi that is also doing the entire stream garbage goat is not using the computer right now. I think he is setting up a fireplace downstairs. That makes it sound a little more dangerous than what it is, which is like an outdoor fire pit that is in our living room, not lit, for a hot chocolate event. For his ministry that he does. Speaking of hot chocolate, the time is now. So perhaps I might end up with a wired. Ooh. No, thank you. A wired connection for my phone camera, or I believe there is a webcam, a spare webcam, somewhere in this house. I love this song. It's so wintry and happy. Yeah, I hope this stretches out well. I think it's gonna. It tends to, when I am sewing on garments, to be like extra, especially like double sew and make sure it's as secure as possible, because people will be wearing them, they'll be running around in them, they'll probably be putting them in the wash, depending on, I usually, when I make something for someone, I send them the specs on the little yarn label so they know what to do, or at least they have the information on what to do, and they cannot become upset with me for not sharing it with them. I do not think I've played the game that this song is in, but it's still hitting me. I really love listening to Nintendo music. It's a specific kind of cozy that's also nostalgic. I have been recently thriving with my Nintendo roots because I was generously gifted a Switch, Nintendo Switch. I saw some children the other day who wanted to play Switch, which is exactly the same kind of phrase that what used to be used for like, let's go play Nintendo, now it's let's go play Switch. I didn't know. I tested it with this. But now I am playing the Switch. I have downloaded and played Rachel and Crossing New Horizons. I haven't fallen in love with any of the tracks on there yet, probably because they're mostly ambient. One moment, it might get a little busy, so turn your head. I haven't fallen in love with any of their music yet, so I'm not going to play it quite yet until this track. I love this one. I also think I need to get little like tape markers on my desk because currently here, it's not coming up. And there's like 6 inches of desk. And when it starts to film. Okay, so this is the left or the right side. I think I want the little spot guy over here. I'm gonna place all of the mushrooms first, then the snail, then the daisies, and then the vines. So you can see here is mushrooms, daisies, snail, and vines. Oh, I super did not. Remember when I made a big kerfuffle about always leaving extra yarn? And then I did not do that. Good thing I can use my extra yarn. There's a delightful children's book every week, illustrated by John Nancy, that is called Extra Yarn, and it's very cute. It's about a girl who gets this magic box that has yarn was the snail and the daisy motifs. Because I think if I do them in different colors, I could do like other themed cards or tops. This is styled after, I think I'm going to add some purple actually. That's a problem for future. By reading the wisdom of other people. I'm still resting my elbows. I think that's a habit I have. I think what I need to do is get a more secure table. And as you saw from the camera, get a more secure stand thingy. Currently there's just some ballast resting on the other side in the hopes that it's not going to collapse completely. What song is this? Alright, we got another glamour elbow shot while I figure out what song this is. Pikmin 2 Perplexing Pool. I used to play Pikmin 3 with my brother and I was very bad at it. I don't think I was very bad, I just think he was significantly better. On laptop audio volume. Oh! This is great, I think. I am not a sound engineer. I just see that one bar is bigger than the other bar, and perhaps it should not be the case. Please let me know how things sound. Unfortunately, now I have this puzzle. There are so many chords around here that you cannot see. I did not know how complex a streaming setup would be until I had to make one. There's also a microphone right in front of my eyes. So I need to lean. But leaning means I'm closer to the light, which is pretty illuminating. Ho, 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 ho. I'm speaking in the same volume of voice that I was earlier, in case I'm coming back to listen to this later, or folks want to let me know how I sound. I would like to go probably to 5:30 or so to catch people. This definitely will take at least until then. But I also wanted to get out my little notebook and have some ideas for future streams, things I will do, what my hopes and goals are. But for now, I have been talking for a while, so I will simply calm myself. Trying to do this thing where I do cute little bobs to pull out the thread so that my hand doesn't go off screen. It's not gonna happen. There's too much thread for this. You can see that the the row has wobbled a little bit now that I've started to sew it together, because I did not pin it down first. It looks very like cutesy and foresty, so I'm not going to undo it. Just think it is a happy little accident, as a proto-craft streamer of sorts and very kind individual once said. I feel bad for calling Bob Ross a proto-craft streamer. That was rude. I apologize. It was meant as a compliment for a trailblazer, not as a dismissive gesture. All right, here's the weaving in part. Ooh, I cannot see this, but I wonder if my continuously looking towards the camera is distracting. This is why you do a test, to test things. Alright, we have successfully made little mushroom number 2. Here is the front of the halter. I think I'm gonna put, oh, hang on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put this snail right here. So that would mean I put the other mushroom right here. That looks good. The pointy boy. Uh-oh. Good thing I have extra yarn. Sometimes I give myself way too much extra yarn to sew in things, and sometimes I give myself not enough at all. I think because of the way I've woven these in, I'm going to snip this right here, and then I'll leave this little thingy on the back so it cannot be seen. So clever of me. There was a while in the early COVID days when I was deeply terrified to put thread in my mouth for something that I would then be sending off. And now I just wait a long time between like when I have something and when I give it to someone. It's a weird habit to get into, I tell ya. Oh, I'm shaking it again. So many things to learn today. Oh, the hot cocoa is looking significantly less delightful and delicious, and significantly more like haggard is the only word I can think of. I can assure you it still tastes wonderful, but I will be ooching it over so that you can perhaps not see the entirety of all of the extra little chocolate residue. Alright, I have successfully stretched this little bit of fabric, so I feel comfy doing this sort of over-under thing now. Ta-da! 1/2 of a mushroom done. So this extra little knob is at the point, so I'm probably gonna just tie it together and then weave it in. Ah, this is a lovely little winter remix. Or I could just tie them together to start and then have a secure point for the new one. This probably does not make any sense the way I'm phrasing it. I know it would make even less sense because you can't see it. So currently these two are tied together, so as I start sewing this long one in, it's not gonna whoop come right out. Hopefully. I've been wrong before. Apologies. Yeah, there are definitely folks who like pinning things in first, but I didn't know that was a thing you could do when I started crocheting. So I simply did not. Now I'm so used to like holding them in place that that's what I do pretty much all the time now. I do always find it interesting about like what might be considered limitations. Sorry, my scissors are going all over the place. For some people, which are not necessarily for others, where you learn to do things with a particular set of limitations, and then you become really good at working around those limitations because you've never known it any other way. Okay, I think it might be end weaving time. But now we have successfully sewn on all 3 mushrooms, which is excellent progress. And as before, I'm going to weave in these. Actually, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to weave in these little buddies so that they will not come undone. Oh, I will if I can do it. Ah, my legs are falling asleep. It is very, very easy for my legs to fall asleep, as they are very bony. If I sit on my ankles for 20 minutes, they will say, "No more." Ooh, that didn't work. Ah! There aren't a lot of good little crevices in this guy. Sometimes you just get a big swatch of yarn on your whole thing. Ha ha ha. I think this will work. Excellent. Boop. I will also often use balls of yarn as impromptu pin cushions because, you know, this is too far away. But it is time for a little assessment. Here is the front and the back. I do kind of love the idea of just like a snail hanging out right here, but I don't know how that will like look when it's on a person. So I must carefully consider the snail placement. Consider the snail. Okay, well this is gonna be one armpit, and so like maybe just scooting along towards the front would be cute. Fortunately, there is not a lot of this yarn, and I do not have any extras. But we will do our best. I'll weave in this little doodad. There we go. And so that can be the back. And we will tie on this little guy. And we can weave those in now, actually. I think it might be better to start weaving at the beginning if they're already in there tight. The two little ends here. All right. Let us attempt this. Little snail. I forgot what I named the snail, but I did name the snail. Sometimes when you have a little loop like this hanging out and you pull it in too tight, too quickly rather, it'll catch other bits and then you'll have a big mess on your hands is what you will have. Oops, I haven't been stretching it quite to the degree I need to. So we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Stretch it. And then, oops. And then start worrying about getting the needle through there. Yeah, that's much better. Ooh, I think that garbage goat is making a delicious food downstairs. This is very exciting because he is an excellent cook. I think I'm speaking too softly. I need to speak more defiantly and proudly. This is what I need to do. Okie dokes. As I'm speaking more defiantly and proudly, I'm also going to finish sewing up this little snail. Sherbert is the name that just came to mind. I don't think that was the snail's original name, but I certainly am not opposed. Someone came up to me at the Great Lakes Comic-Con in December, or the Great Lakes Comic-Con Holiday Expo. They have a bunch of different like events after the Comic-Con proper. and it was the Holiday Expo. And they wanted me to make the character Sherb from Animal Crossing. I did not know what Sherb was, so they just asked me to make a Sherb, and I was like, do you mean a shirt? Oops. It's not my best work, as they say, but I did make them a Sherb. I got the little floof, which I quite liked, using a loop stitch and some scissors. I made the little sweater look very sweatery, which is easy to do with yarn, because that's what sweaters are usually made out of. Oh man, this is not very much yarn. Ha. I've created a challenge for myself from my mistakes in the past. Okay, that's pretty alright. Oh, I even gave the snail a little, like, eye thingy. Sometime, it's been a long time, like September, it is currently January, since I made these little pieces. So now that I'm putting them together, it's like they're little notes from my past self that I forgot I wrote. But the notes are in yarn, so the metaphor doesn't quite work. See, these ends you have to weave in at the end, because you don't have them at the beginning. Or you do have them, but then you need to use them. So if you were to weave them in, it would be a problem. I'm speaking low again. Please bully me, chat. Tell me to speak more confidently. I also forget that I can see the chat. I have to think of a cute and non-diminutive name for the chat. That's not just the chat. I think the hot cocoa is actually more delicious when the coconut whipped cream has like mingled with the rest of the hot chocolate. I feel the same way about marshmallows. Marshmallows are very cute and adorable when you first put them in, but like a pop of marshmallow as you nom down on one is fine. But like marshmallow, melted marshmallow inside of the hot chocolate is really where it's at. This has been Janatee's Hot Chocolate Snob Corner. Okay, we got a sound. We got some mushroom. Now it's time for daisies. This will be the front. So I'm thinking maybe one there. And maybe one here. Okay. Man, the end weaving here is going to be a real nightmare. Okay, so you've got these two strands, which don't necessarily need to sew anything in at all, but do need to be tucked in somewhere. This strand, which will probably do the sewing, and this strand, which will probably be used to tie off at the end of the sewing and then be tucked in somewhere. So since we won't use these little gold guys for sewing, we can weave those in now. And weaving in is something you do with little extra bits of yarn before you cut them off. So there's not just a little nub and a chance of a knot or something important unraveling. It's very unlikely that every single stitch that these threads are being woven through will become undone. It just makes it more secure and I don't know, higher quality. There's not a great gender neutral term that is the equivalent of craftspersonship, because craftspersonship is hard to say, as you might be able to tell by my struggles. Oh, I'm threading the needle. Literally, there's no metaphor. I'm just trying to make sure that I thread the needle while I am on the camera. All right, here we go. An adventure in the making. This is good. So I'm gonna go, what I want to do is tie little stitches at the base of each of these little petals so that the petal part can still, you know, be free. but the flower can still be sewn to the top itself. So that's the goal here. Yeah, there are definitely times, there are definitely times when I have not thought through when I'm going to sew, or where I'm going to sew something. Just like, oh, it's the last step. Fine, I'm tired, I'll do it now. And if I don't think it through, it looks very bad. Or at least not what I would hope for it to look like. And tie your ends together. And I think what I'm going to try to do for these little ends, because they are the color of just these little tiny bits, and these little tiny bits are a chain stitch, which is very small. Instead of trying to weave these ends back through the chain stitch, I'm probably going to tuck them underneath the little gold, because the gold is pretty opaque. Here goes nothing. So they go down underneath and out the other side through the gold, and then we'll do it back and forth once or twice just to make sure it's really in there nice and snug. This is a cute little song. Really makes the vibe nice. I was definitely hoping for a cozy vibe. I don't know what I'm going to do when it's summertime and I can no longer have like cute drinks. Or like cozy drinks, I suppose is more accurate. What I'm going to do on the back here is I got the two threads, and if I tie them together, that knot could pop right back through. So I'm going to wrap one end around another random stitch, and if I tie them together, you can pull as hard as you want and that knot's not going anywhere. And then weave, boop. And if that comes undone, you'll just have a little fluff on the underside where no one can see. So it is not a big deal. Nice. Daisies and mushrooms and daisies. Okay. Yeah, I think I want the last daisy. Oh, that will be very irritating. No, it's not. No, it's not irritating because it's not right under the armpit. It's like in the back. That's fine. Okay, I was worried there for a second. The vines might be another thing entirely. That will probably be the last entire half hour of the stream. Hopefully Loop will be able to join. I know that they said she would be working, but I'm assuming because they're in the same time zone as they're getting off of work around now, so we shall see. Oh, I also wanted to make my list in my notebook. Goodness gracious, so many things to think about. What I'm probably gonna do is have a very cheesy like screenshot photo, or a screenshot, yeah, like a say cheese thing at the end of all of this, where I will carefully position my newly made halter top and like smile and take a screenshot to share so that folks who could not make it can see what we've been up to. I believe YouTube also records these and keeps them on the Janatee Craftily channel, but I don't know. I've never done one before. That's what a test is. I considered making an entirely new, oh, this is rattling, an entirely new channel just for streams, because I didn't want stream backlogs to clog up my uploaded videos. And then I realized that I have not uploaded a video in several months, and so I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Yeah, if it becomes a real problem, I'll just make a playlist or something. I actually did make quite a few non-craft YouTube videos in college and grad school. Mostly of the I saw this superhero movie and here's what I thought about it variety, but occasionally little silly skits or here's how my life is going. It was quite fun. And it also helped me to know what exactly is going on all the elements of a YouTube channel, because that's not intuitive necessarily for the person viewing it. If you're not you can see what is uploaded and what is made, but you get a different perspective, and it helped me appreciate really talented creators more, because I knew how much work they put into it. Alright, same thing as before. We're gonna tuck one strand underneath so that when we tie them together, they will not be pulled back through to the other side. Very nice, very nice. I'm realizing I definitely you all will have to have an abundance of grace for me as I learn where to put my hands relative to the camera. But there it is. All right, glamour shot. Here's the front. Nice and simple. Mushroom, mushroom, daisy. Here's the back. A little more zany. Could also be the front. Snail, mushroom, daisy. Little cool sort of vibe going on. I'm gonna take a minute. Stretching. Ooh, the music is going to space today. Ooh. I'm not sure this is exactly, unfortunately, the vibe. Oh, this is, Metroid Prime. Love the Metroid Prime music, but I do not think it is. There we go, Super Mario Galaxy. I know there are widgets you can get to show what songs are playing, so I'm considering getting Spotify Premium so that I can make little playlists. You all can suggest songs and soundtracks and all of that jazz. I think I'm going to do mostly instrumental or very lo-fi vocal, so that I do not talk over people's work. Okay, for this I definitely will be using pins. I think safety pins are what I'm going to do, because I'm going to be pulling. One moment, I must fetch safety pins. Ta-da! I have a 4-tiered drawer over here to my left, and the bottom drawer is all the little doodads and extra tools, primarily for amigurumis, which are the little plush. Oh, I don't have any around. Well, this is a older example of little plush friend. Okay. Let's go. I think I want to put the end under the armpit next to our little snail friend. So as long as it is secured where I want it to hit, what I'm probably going to do is sew it on with this and mostly weave it through the vine and then occasionally sew it to the halter so it's got a little like springy vine thing going on, which is why I will need copious amounts of safety pins. I also purposefully flipped to the other side so it will have a little twist automatically. That makes that a little crowded. I think that's got 2 twists in it. That's pretty funky. I like a good funky twist. Those are my safety pins. I realized that the zoomed in view is perhaps not the most ideal thing I have ever created, but this is a test. I'm learning so much. Uh-oh. Alright, okay. Probably end it also there. Okay. Alright, they were slightly less fine than I thought. I'm probably gonna have a loop up front. Just to be zany. Or like a strung back and forth. Yeah, I like this. So I'm gonna do an extra twist here just for some flair. There's another good twist. If I put it here, it'll hang free, and that'll be lovely. Hang free does sound like a poorly translated JoJo stand, and I don't regret it. I have been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6 and vastly enjoying it. Turns out I really enjoy things that are thing I like but with girl. I know I am the most basic, however I'm having fun, and so I'm not particularly concerned. Well, girl has to be cool girl, not boring girl. Thing you like with boring girl, no good. Has to be cool. I think that'll be it. I think I'll just give a little extra whoop. That will be in the armpit zone though. Maybe that's not so great. Maybe it'll just go down. Yeah, I think that's better. I do forget the logistics of a person wearing a thing many times, which is why there are a variety of sweaters that I have created for myself that I have not worn in years. All right, let's assess. So the front looks pretty darn fun. I'm gonna flip it so this leaf is down so it doesn't outdo the daisy or run over the daisy. This can be rearranged, that can go. Lovely. Lovely. Great. Now for the hard part. Well, I guess it depends on your perspective. Where have I put the other needle? I wonder, and I realize I'm wondering this an hour and 15 minutes into this, but I wonder, elbow shot, if one could, hypothetically, oh no, not that. Ooh, oh, you can see way more things. Huh? Wow, that looks real gnarly, and I'm going to take it out. but I am gonna add a little zoom. Yeah, so you can see. I'm fully disoriented now. I will figure that out later. For now, I will just continue with what I am doing. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom it out so that it can be consistent for screenshotting purposes. Boop. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Now this is a very, very long strand. So every single time that I draw it through, I will have to take that entire strand and pull it all the way back. And it will be very annoying, but it will be worth it. Yep, that took a long time. I'm gonna have to do that a whole lot more. And as we have done for many other strands, I am going to weave in this little extra nubbin so that it doesn't go anywhere. Boop. Very nice. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, this first part is already sewn in, so I will take out the safety pin, keep it safetied. Ah! What I will do is I will weave the thread up this part so it can be free, and then once I hit a safety pin, I will do a stitch or maybe a stitch or two in the actual halter top to tie it on tight, and then keep going. Because that way there will be the fewest cuts and it will be the most secure way to attach it. You could also tie individual knots and then tie it off at each point, which is totally feasible. I just like cutting things as infrequently as possible. Yeah, there are big long pulls, especially when I have a whole ton of thread like this. What I like to do, and this is not anything groundbreaking, but if there are like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little stitches, I'll weave the needle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's do 6. And so it's through all of them. And then I just pull. And now I only have to pull 1 big long time instead of 6 big long times, which is very preferable. I do wish that my laptop was a little quieter and my microphone was a little more powerful so you could hear the little whoosh noise that the needle makes as the thread goes through, because it's really something. It's very calming. If you can get it through. Maybe? Let's see. It's very tactile. I quite enjoy it. I probably should have given a sound warning for that, so my apologies if that was bothersome. But now you get an idea of what I get to hear the whole darn time. It is pretty fantastic. Ooh, this is funky because this is where the twist happens. I guess it can happen anywhere, but it's where the twist is currently residing. So what I'm gonna do is, you see that twist is here, like it's facing this way, and then it flips. So I'm gonna let the twist go to where my needle is not going to be, so I can worry about that later. Okay, we've reached the safety pin. we are ready. You know what I said about the loop catching things earlier? If I were to pull this loop taut right now, it would catch this right in the way, which would be no good. All right, the safety pin can leave. Goodbye. I'll get it. I think I am gonna do 3 stitches just to be super duper sure. 1. My neighbors are home. I hope they had an alright day, because I bet they had to go to class, because we live in a student neighborhood. And I do not think the local university was closed, even though it's very snowy outside. It takes a lot to close that school. Okay. 3 stitches. Beautiful. And you're ready to continue. I'm going to scooch a little bit. Do my patented weave method. As I said, it is very much not patented. A jazzy beat! Ooh, what is this one from? Oh, I do not need to look this one up. It is my bestie Kirby! I have a delightful Kirby sticker right here. It is Kirbo, which is the Kirby as illustrated by Terminal Montage here on YouTube. Excellent zany animations, where Kirbo is just the absolute best boy there ever was, which is exactly who Kirby is, so it is an accurate portrayal. I gifted this exact game, Epic Yarn, to what was then a 7-year-old and what is now, I believe, a 9-year-old. Along with a plethora of other leftover Nintendo products. And so he told me that I could play as the girl, who is Kirby. Kirby is the girl because Kirby is pink. I didn't have time to unpack all of that, but I was later able to tell him that Samus also is a girl and not a robot. It was a wild day for this young man. He learned so much about gender in Nintendo games. Okay, we've got another whole bunches of twists, which we don't really want to sew through right now. So we can just straighten here so the twists go elsewhere. Loop this around and keep it going. Ooh. All right, we have reached yet another safety pin. Beautiful, excellent. Ha! So we can take off the safety pin and just sew it right on. I think I am going to stick with 3 stitches for each of those points. Oop! I caught the leaf in the loop. Get out of there, leaf. All right. Ooh, quite a few twists before the next safety pin where we'll be attaching it. So we're just gonna keep weaving and do the best we can. Oh boy. it's getting a little crowded up in here. But we're close. All right. We made it. I do not know how I could have explained how that went as it was happening, but you at least got to see it. So take off this slad. I think that this was the state of the twist. It's sort of a freehand thing. It doesn't need to stick exactly like I put it to begin with, but I would like it to be in a good spot. Yeah, you may see me doing a lot of yanking and pulling and being a little less... Ooh, a motorcycle is outside. A little less than gentle with the thread. That is not a motorcycle. That is a weed whacker. There's a foot of snow on the ground. One of the universe's great mysteries. I am so puzzled by this. All of our houses are very close to one another on this street, and there's not really any like front yards, and so like every weird thing that a neighbor deigns to do that is noisy is immediately audible, which can sometimes be very fun and lead to a sense of both entertainment and community, and sometimes not very fun and lead to a sense of annoyance and frustration. Boop. Alright. Reaching the end, we may finish right on time. I'm probably going to do some sort of outro of something or another. Yeah. We hit another safety pin. Oh, we've got more left than I thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all close together though. All right, safety pin be gone. So far we've done, 4. We're not halfway through yet. I was lying, I guess. And I think that's going to be the 3rd stitch. Ha! See, I keep scooching it up because I can't quite see over the microphone. I should just lean around it like a smart person. I often, when I have put the needle through far too much, I like to take out my pliers and think smarter, not harder, as my former mentor used to tell me all the time. Just constantly. Oh man, as I was looking at my screen over there at this very spot, there was a slight sort of delay, and it made me think of all the times I've been on the radio where someone is like calling in using Wi-Fi, and they'll be like, "What do you think, Janet?" And then it'll just be silence. "I think Janet's having some trouble with her microphone, so let's go to blah blah blah." Like, that moment as a professional broadcasting live sounds terrifying, and I respect anyone who has made it through it, regardless of how graceful they were or were not. All right, 5 down, 3 to go. Well, 5 almost down. This is also Kirby! Wow, I have a clear Nintendo song bias. I mean, I don't have any Samus stickers over here, so I guess that tells you everything you need to know. Just keep weaving, just keep weaving. Ha. There we go. There was a slight little knot in there, which was not ideal. I apologize. Let's take this out. Sorry, I'm not narrating the process very thoroughly because it is somewhat repetitive. So if anyone is joined since the beginning of the vine sewing section, please let me know and I can explain what the heck I'm doing. Ha. Okay. 2 to go. Wow. I'm feeling good. We got more twists. This is a pleasant little ditty. I have no idea what song this is, but it is delightful. One, two, oops, leaf. I'm gonna take out the safety pin for 3. Yeah. All right. One more pin. Oh, this feels real secure. That's good. Alright, it is the final pin for the final section of this vine we are sewing. I need to stop using the royal we. We're so close. 2, 3. And then I think I'm gonna just weave it the rest of the way to the end of the vine. Give it one final pull so it's all nice and inside there. And there we have it. Here is the fully sewn together. Whoop. Here's the front. Here is the fully sewn together halter top. We've got mushrooms galore, some little daisies. The vine looks great. It's still very flexible to like move around as you wear it, but it's not gonna be too flopping all over the place. I'm very happy. I think I'm gonna try and do that cutesy screenshot that I talked about earlier. I really want the snail in the screenshot. It's just too important to leave out. Hot chocolate. I'll hold a safety pin. No, I will not do that. Maybe I'll just take a screenshot of the thing itself. Well, just in case. I am taking a screenshot now. Everybody smile. That is a joke. It's just me. Alright. The screen has been shot. The halter is done. Thank you so much for everyone who joined today, everyone who bops in later to let me know about the audio quality, how easy you could see things, etc., etc., etc. Very important stuff that I need to know as I figure out this whole streaming thing. Next week, I will be doing what I'm calling a soft launch. It is an actual, like, full planned project, and I'll be answering questions and things like that. And then hopefully, as time goes on, I'll come up with a really cool name, and then we can do a non-soft, cool launch once I, like, really know what's up and can invite more folks in. But I really appreciate those who have come in now when I'm learning and have been so supportive. Thank you all. I'm going to try to log off now. Stop streaming. I think that's the button.